Nehemiah. I say Nehemiah instead of Nevermind, like Jeremiah.
Biddy and Jeremiah.
Okay,
alright,
so
guys.
we moved outside because
We were always
our
outside.
camera overheated, so now we're
In the
in
shade.
the backyard.
We moved from the front to the back.
Yeah.
Hit it from the front. Now we in the back.
What were we on? We were talking about school dances. So,
to any dances.
your main things you want
I know
for a
what
dance. If it's a Halloween dance, a dress-up dance, you don't want to wear your dress or your Halloween costume to the dance.
Bring-
Why? Because it gets so sweaty down there, and if you're
It's
wearing high heels
disgusting.
with your dress or
Your
something
feet
fancy that
will
could,
hurt.
Yeah, your feet will hurt.
Believe
Anything
me.
fancy that could take up more space than it needs to, just change into some regular clothes.
And
shirt
usually
pants.
dress code doesn't always apply to the
Yeah,
dances, so you
so.
can bring shorts to change into or something, because it literally gets so
It gets
hot.
really hot.
It's a scorcher.
It ain't fun. Yeah.
A dance with
A boy.
my man friend one time.
Me too.
And it was
Dances are awkward to go with your
and
boyfriend.
so just
I,
go with
I
the guy.
overheated so much
But if a guy
that I
asks
was
you,
about
you
to
can
dance
say
with him.
yes,
I was like,
whatever.
and then I ran out.
Yeah.
Don't
Pack
pack.
deodorant, different clothes.
No one likes a girl that smells like a man
stank.
at a dance.
If
Alright,
a guy
smells
asks you, don't think it's gonna be like a date because it's too packed to like have a conversation and like sit down and have a meal. Nope.
It's not bad.
It's all, you just want to party, so don't like worry about guys and anything. And then
Next topic, grades. How to keep and maintain them. 8th grade, the grades matter a little more because sometimes your like high school teachers will look at your past 8th grade grades. That was weird.
After 8th grade is when you really need
Yeah. When you need to keep your grades up.
to,
Yeah.
and it helps a lot if you're like, hey parents, bet me money to keep my grades up.
And the way to maintain them is just kind of like do
Watch
your work.
Watch your grades. Don't go too long
Yeah.
without checking your grades, because sometimes
I
like,
check
our
my
grades
grades,
were
like,
online,
online.
so you want to check them. If they're down, check what's keeping them down. If you have a missing paper, if you got a bad grade on a
Yeah.
paper that maybe you can
Figure
redo,
it out.
get
And,
some
like,
extra credit.
make it up or
Um,
like go to your teacher and ask them.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, can I redo this assignment or
Your teachers
something like that.
Basically, it's not too independent. You'll have help from your teacher, but you need to be independent to realize where you are and what you need help with. Or if you're doing fine, then but don't slack off too much if you're doing fine, because then
don't
you'll go down
slack
too
off in
fast.
general.
So just
Slacking off means you don't care.
do's and don'ts of homework. And homework you obviously should do, but sometimes you might be busy that night. And I don't mean like, oh, Teen Wolf was on, so I'm busy. I mean like,
That's an
like
Allie
you had to go
problem.
to a funeral. That's depressing. But or like your family that you never see is in town, you had to go to dinner, or you had like the biggest soccer tournament game, and it for some reason took all the amount of time from after school till you went to sleep.
so
If something like that happens, usually you can have your parent write a note to the teacher, and they'll give you like an extension on the homework, but usually it's just a day, and that doesn't mean you can like slack off. That means like you get it done the next day. Like if they give you an extension, be thankful and get it done. And so like with projects where they're due in like a month or like 2 weeks or something, honestly try and get them done.
yeah, don't wait till the last
Towards
minute.
the
Science
beginning.
fair.
Science fair. If you have
It
a
is-
science fair that's like
Don't
over
show
the
up with
course
a
of
box.
like 4 months, then just space out like your time.
But don't like
And stuff
put
that you
anything
do.
to the last
We
minute.
had 6
Or
months
like
to do
school
it.
projects and stuff. I mean, with
You
school
got a
projects
D.
in the science fair, it's
No.
honestly easier to just get it done. So
Yeah.
it might be like, oh, I don't want to do it, but
Oh,
you're gonna
I
have to do it at some point. So just do it now.
So just like once
Do it.
you like
Just do it.
And
just
Make
start
like Nike
doing
and just
it.
do it.
you'll be like, I'm gonna write my hypothesis today. I'm gonna write
Yeah.
my procedure the next day. I'm gonna write my materials this day. I'm gonna do this. Like you make a plan to do it, and you're golden.
And then chat
Do your homework.
is
Boys and relocation hips.
relationship.
Relocation.
So,
Do your
Topic
homework.
is
boys and relocation hips.
relationship.
Relocation.
So, personally,
Asterisks. Relationships.
Asterisk star thing.
Star.
the one that all the white girls put your after.
That would be me.
Don't correct people.
God, you white
Grammar is a dying thing.
Anyway.
Come on. That.
So anyway,
It's dying. Nobody
Personally-
cares about grammar.
personally,
I do.
Except your LA teacher.
Boys are, for me, this is my subject, so shh. Okay, boys and relationships.
Thank you.
I officially
Don't go into you. Just talk about relationships in middle school, Allie.
don't like boys.
Did you say you were listening?
No, I just don't like them. Because they're frustrating
No.
and they're hard. Middle school boys are frustrating.
They're so
immature.
stupid. Oh my
They
god.
like to make jokes about body parts. Their own and yours. If you're a girl.
Okay, maybe we should talk about like
Okay,
tips and-
if you are going to date, which I don't know, it's
Allie
fun.
did many
know-
times.
If you're gonna go for the boys, then grammar is a dying phase. Then don't if you're gonna go for the boys, then don't force yourself at them. Don't be like, oh, Jeremy. I don't know. You're like, okay. Boys, like they're not. Don't touch them like that. They won't talk
No.
to you.
Middle
They
school
won't.
boys
They'll think you're
also
insane.
if you do weird faces and you
Hi.
put them on Instagram.
Honestly,
Honestly, boys in middle school, like if you get into a relationship, it probably isn't gonna last. I'm not saying like you can't have something that lasts because somebody here might be dating for 7 months and
Maybe one of them had a boyfriend for a year. No big deal. It was me.
but I mean odds are you'll probably break up in like 4 days. 4-day relationship.
Me too.
But-
We're like 23 hours.
I remember that.
Okay. Personally, I liked a guy that was a grade younger than
But
us.
he was still our
But he was
age.
our age. But it's really complicated because you're like,
You have no
"Ooh,
classes together
You're
or
dating
lunch or
a
anything.
7th grader. Like, ew, you're dating such and so.
Don't date for popularity also.
Yeah, it doesn't.
That's
give you
lame.
anything.
Basically, dating, you don't have to make it your
Don't be
biggest
a loser.
priority. So,
It's not.
That's
It's
that.
not your. It should not be your focus.
all right.
Also, don't do icky things.
Don't do the icky things. Don't touch them. Get your cootie shut. I'm like,
Okay, we're done.
All right.
Stop.
Next
Topic.
one is the standardized or state tests. They're probably the biggest tests at the end of the year. They ask. Okay, so every state has a different one. It's basically
But it's basically the same
the
thing.
standardized state test,
And
where you go over all of your
Learning.
everything you've learned for LA, SS, science, math. You don't have
language
every,
arts, social studies.
Yeah.
If you call it other things.
but
like
you don't
English.
have a test for each subject. But you will
World
have
cultures.
tests for certain subjects, and they're pretty big tests. They're probably the biggest tests in middle
Take
school
them
that you'll take.
seriously.
Yes, take them seriously. Don't be like, oh, this is gonna be so easy. I can guess on all of them, and 90% of the time it's a B answer, so I'll be fine. Don't be a
Take
know-it-all when it
it
comes to that.
seriously.
Don't
Take
do
it
that seriously.
These tests, honestly, these tests determine where you're going next year.
Yeah, where you're going in life.
And the EOC, the end of course exam for like math and science usually.
The what?
Take those seriously. Those are really like
When they have abbreviated
important.
names, they are serious.
they're really important. They again like determine where you're going next.
So take them seriously if you need to. Study
Or
for
if
them.
you're not
Sometimes
going
teachers
next
help you with study things in class, but just make sure you're paying attention when it comes close to that time.
Also,
so
don't be
you know
afraid.
what you're talking about.
Don't be afraid of
Don't
them.
be super nervous. But
Yeah, don't
Don't
be nervous.
don't be afraid of your test. Look at it and be like, you know, I may hate this, but I'm gonna take it seriously and I'm gonna do it.
And if you don't know a question or like you don't know the answer to a question, just guess.
But if it's like one of those
Educated
answers,
guesses.
Yeah.
Educated. guesses.
Educated.
but it's like one of those
Unless
right, just be like,
you- unless you honestly don't
BS your
know
answer.
what it is, like you had to write, what was it? You had to write something about a cell. We didn't learn about
I
that.
didn't know it.
I didn't
just wrote cell.
I wrote something that made no sense.
The topic is the transition to 6 classes. In middle school, you have usually 6 or 7 teachers.
7.
Yeah, some schools have
Oh.
7 classes.
What do you?
And some even have 8, so, I mean, it depends. Really? You're making a waffle! It might seem a little nerve-wracking at first to, like, get, like, a bunch of homework from each class, but honestly, it's not that hard, and you just kind of have to manage
Do
your
it.
time
Do it.
well, and just, you gotta do it. Just
Um,
do it.
I mean, honestly,
Nike
there's no way
swish.
that you can't, so you have to. But yeah.
Nutella!
Basically, there's no main tips we can give about it because it's a pretty easy
depends.
transition. I actually loved having 6 classes better than. Honestly, it was easier. The days seemed shorter since we were switching classes. So
Come
much, so-
on.
Yeah. Don't
And
worry
sometimes
about it.
in class, you get to meet new people in each class. What are you doing?
Oh, that's
Okay. Anyways,
Yeah.
my next subject is called "Don't Be a Dumb 6th Grader," and we're not calling 6th graders dumb. We were a 6th grader at one point, and everybody.
I'm gonna be
does
honest
it.
here, I was
No,
the
Allie,
worst 6th grader.
Don't be honest.
I was like, I'm the coolest ever.
That's how everyone is.
Don't
Okay.
think you're the.
Way to make it inappropriate here, Lillian.
It's been inappropriate
Guys.
since Keely started talking.
Okay, so in 6th grade, they are the. Am I just gonna
At
keep
the
talking?
end, can we like do an
Go for it.
overview of what we think that you should do?
Okay.
So
So I'm just gonna do this. Shh, turn her back around. You guys are better that way. So in 6th grade, it's like new to you. And 6th graders are the bottom of the food chain because I mean obviously it goes 6th, 7th, 8th, so you're the youngest and that's just kind of how it works. And it's not like the 7th and 8th graders like absolutely hate you because stop. Everyone's a 6th grader at some point. And at our school, we call the 6th graders 6ies. And when I was in 7th grade, we got called 6ies when we were in 6th grade. And in 7th grade, we called the 6th graders 6ies. And some of the 6th graders like complained about it to the teachers, and we got in trouble even though we weren't being rude. That's just like the name. So just accept that if you're a 6th grader, you'll be a 7th grader next year.
I shook a
You'll
spider
be
down
great.
with my spit.
You'll be golden. Not be a dumb 6th
So
grader.
just have
Yes.
fun. Honestly, 8th grade year was the best
For some of you.
the best year
Actually,
for
7
me
was the
personally. So
Me too.
just have fun with it. It's 3 years of your life. You have like
80 of
60,
them.
80, depending on where you live, maybe 100. I don't know.
Depending on your life choices
Yeah,
and other
But-
people's life choices
just
and nature.
And
just have fun with it because it'll be some of your
Middle
best
school is
times.
probably like the most, I wouldn't say the
It's
most
fun.
important time, but
That's not.
it's where it's your first biggest transition where you transition of
where you're like
yourself,
starting
of
to
your
be-
character,
Yeah.
to not only just where you're learning, but you're making your
you start
friends
to understand life.
You're
You
starting to
understand
be a little
more.
more independent and you get to know yourself a little better. So
And you'll get a lot more responsibilities, like
or not.
life may seem hard in middle school,
but you can get through
you
it.
can get through it.
By the way, we're going into freshman
We're
year.
going
We
into-
never said what grade
yeah,
we were in.
right.
Yeah. So now
By
we're
the way,
going
I'm
into
cooler than all
ninth
of
grade.
them.
You're not cool.
Middle school was really hard if you don't apply yourself. And I know that the people that don't really apply themselves, that you can get behind and it is not fun. So believe me, just apply yourself and it will be a whole lot better than you think it's gonna go. And
Every little thing,
it's gonna be alright! And
I can't sing.
every little thing.
we're not actually doing this right now.
Alright.
Stop it.
Okay. We believe in you.
Thanks for
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Subscribe to me.